It's a cause that's near and dear to us at WTOL 11, organ, tissue, and eye donation. That's why we've teamed up with Life Connection of Ohio for the 15th year for our Donate Life Green Chair Sit-In. This morning I have Jeff Abke with me, and he's got a little bit of a different story. A lot of times we hear about organ donation, but you have tissue. You've been donated some tissue as well. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so in 2012, in May of 2012, I received a cornea transplant in my right eye. So yeah, it's a different, it's obviously it's part of the grouping of organ tissue and eye donation. And I still have a condition called keratoconus, which is a genetic disorder that for some people results in a very much a strong thinning of the cornea, which leaves you blind in one eye, and that was my case. So yeah, I have a whole new covering to the outside of my eye.
Wow.
12 years ago now. So.
And so your diagnosis started how? Like, how did were you starting to lose your vision? What was that like, that process?
Yeah, so I had always worn glasses and contacts since I was a kid. And then when I was in my early 20s, I went to the eye doctor for the regular checkup, and he looked, the eye doctor looked at it and said, "I think you might have this condition called keratoconus," which was a big word that I didn't know how to spell. I still don't quite remember how to spell it all, but you get the point. So that was, like I said, in my mid-20s, and then it just progressively got worse, needing new contacts every 4 to 6 months to try to keep that vision. And then about 10 years of that, finally, they said, there's not much more we can do except the transplant or the graft. And so there it was. Yeah.
And so did you have to wait 10 years until you were told that, hey, we have this tissue that's donated for your new cornea? No,
that process was fairly quick. It was, not everybody that has keratoconus it progresses to that point. So they always try to obviously treat it or make it better with contacts and so forth. So I guess I was just one of the lucky. My eye doctor said maybe about 10% of the people that have keratoconus end up to this point. So I guess I was one of the 10% that got to that point. But it's the difference in my life that it's made is drastic. Obviously it wasn't life-saving for me, but certainly quality of life to be somebody in my 30s and not being able to see out of one eye was troublesome. So now I'm very grateful to not have to deal with that every day. Yeah.
Last question, we've got to wrap up, but I feel like a lot of times we take our vision for granted. So what is that experience like, being able to have someone donate that to you? Do you think about your donors often?
Absolutely. Since then I've had 2 kids. So, being able to literally watch and see them grow and, and their activities and to be able to safely drive and all of those things is really an important difference.
Jeff, we really appreciate you being here this morning and telling us a little bit more about tissue donation. If you have any more information about Life Connection of Ohio, you can go to our website. We have all of that on there. Let's get it over to Ryan and Steven now with one thing you need to know before you head out the door.